What's going on, guys? It's WrestleMania Sunday at the recording of this video, and I felt it the perfect time before we get into the festivities for the evening to go ahead and cover this past week's rotation. So I got a few kind of cooler weather fragrances, but I've got a lot more fresh stuff, much fresher. Like really the transition has begun. Like literally all but one of the fragrances in this video is of the fresher style for sure. Some really good stuff. We've got some blues. We've got some summer aquatics even. There's a little bit of everything as far as fresh. A niche blue. A version of Eros, which I'm sure is going to be in the thumbnail. It was a great week. And it's week number 172 in the rotation. So stay tuned. Starting off on Sunday is the one kind of heavy fragrance of the entire week. It's Mercedes-Benz Man Private. It was actually a really cold day that particular day. I remember in a live stream taking a vote. It was between this and Ferrari Leather Essence, and everybody voted for me to rock this one. And it's magnificent. It really has this leathery, animalistic tone to it, even though I don't remember leather being in there. It's very warm, ambery, spicy, dense and woodsy, too. Very masculine. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fragrance. There was a time in years past when this was kind of a hype beast for the cooler weather. And it smells magnificent. It's definitely the most warm, heavy, and masculine of the entire line. I have several from the Mercedes-Benz Man line at this point. And performance is fantastic on this one. It just kept going and going. At about the 9-hour mark was when I took a shower. And it was still pumping pretty strong for the most part. I would call it every bit of a moderate sillage. So this one, easily 10 hours on my skin, and you can get it for a pretty good price. I'll have links to everything down below if you want to check out any of them. But yeah, starting things off on Sunday during the day was Mercedes-Benz Man Private, and then when I got the shower, we switched it up to fresh, and this really jump-started the rest of the week being fresh. This is Ferrari's Radiant Bergamot. You can see the dent in that bottle. I wear this one pretty often. I actually have 2 bottles of this. Eventually, I'll make my way through this bottle and start the next one. This is a gorgeous, zesty green citrus type of fragrance. The Ferrari fragrances are discontinued at this point. You can still find a lot of them from the discount sites like Parfum Online, for example. But as far as this, Pure Lavender, Noble Fig, Bright Neroli, those are the most difficult ones to find because those were also the 4 most popular for the Essence line, I believe is what it's called, the Essence collection. But beautiful stuff. No stranger to the weekly rotation. Ferrari Radiant Bergamot. Moving into Monday, we have 2 different types of freshies for this particular day. One that's pretty spicy, white floral and woodsy, a little aquatic ozonic, and then the other one is a straight up summertime aquatic. Starting things off during the day was Rasasi Sotoor Raa. I just recently did a full review of this one. This is a little bit of an odd fresh fragrance, surprisingly powerful. Just when you think it's going to calm down and cool off in performance at the 5-6 hour mark, it just keeps going. It holds pretty strong at that point. People keep telling me to try Sotoor Ta and Wa and all the other ones. I'm sure all 4 of them are good, and eventually I will get them. But this is the one that had my interest, the most unique and interesting and freshest of the group. So I wanted to start with this one. Plus, I had saw a review months and months and months ago, maybe even close to a year ago, by my good friend Joy Amin. And, you know, based on the things he had to say, I thought that might be something I would enjoy. And it turns out, yeah, it's a very unique, fresh fragrance. Like I said, a lot of spices. It's very strange, very woodsy as well. Very, very odd fragrance, but it's a beast. And wife's a big fan of this one. I was quite surprised because it's a little strange, so I wasn't sure how she would feel. But she really likes the way it smells. During the day, Rasasi Sotoor Raa. Then I got the shower. Last year's summer flanker in the Calvin Klein Eternity line. This is Summer Daze. Has this like calypso note or whatever it is. It's like a watermelon aquatic. Very synthetic, watery, oceanic, fruity, fresh. Smells good. Smells cheap. Don't get me wrong, it's a cheap, chemically synthetic smell, but out in the air, especially after a few minutes after you let that top note, because it's pretty harsh and chemically synthetic. Not so much harsh, but very chemically synthetic and cheap smelling in the top note. But as it starts to settle, it's very lovely. It's really engulfing this airspace. It's actually quite nice. I would say if you give it 2 or 3 minutes to really just calm its ass down a little bit. Again, wife told me I smelled pretty, was her exact words when I got out the shower. Wore this one out the shower. Once I really start getting into the much warmer weather, this is one that's phenomenal for the high heat. I mean, it's a summer flanker for a reason. Average performer, too. I get like 5-6 hours out of it, which is superior performance to the CK1 summer flankers, but those are always a home run for me in scent profile. The CK1 Summer Daze flanker, the counterpart to this, is phenomenal. I'm exclusively going to wear that in the summer, but this one's a little different. I could see this one not being for everybody because the opening is generic and very chemically synthetic, but it's a very fresh, sweet watermelon, kind of salty aquatic type of smell that's really nice if you give it a little bit of time to develop. Out the shower, Calvin Klein Eternity Summer Daze. Moving into Tuesday, I did not have a fragrance out the shower. I take that back. No, I did. I just sprayed this again. 3 more sprays out the shower. I apologize. I wore this twice during the day. Kaheela Platinum from Paris Corner. This is their Jean Paul Gaultier Le Beau Eau de Toilette clone. I've been wearing this one pretty often. I've worn it like 6 or 7 times now since I got it. It is so spot on. It is a carbon copy of Le Beau. In the review, I accidentally said it was $43 before the 10% off. And after, when I put the link, when I was editing the video and uploading and everything, I saw it was $50. So my apology. I kept having to say that in the comments. So yeah, and it sold out pretty quickly. I don't know if that's partially due to my responsibility helping it sell out or what, but I mean, it's solid. You know what I mean? So it's $45 basically for 80 some odd ml. I forgot how much. I think 85 ml of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau. It performs the same. It smells the same. The quality is the same. The wearing experience is the same. It's the same. It is the same. It's up to you to decide which one you want to get. I basically look at it as I now have this 85 ml and a 125 ml of Le Beau EDT, which I'm a massive fan of this scent profile in the first place, so it works out. I'm just really surprised. Like, it's not too often that I believe a clone to be a 100% one-to-one carbon copy. This might be the first time I've ever experienced that and felt that way about a fragrance. It's spot on all day long. It's phenomenal. If you want that bergamot coconut tonka bean combo, they nailed it here. This is Paris Corner Kaheela Platinum. Moving into Wednesday, one of the most underrated fresh designer releases to come out in a long time that is quite unique. They now have an Eau de Parfum flanker. I have a feeling they're really going to make a bunch of flankers like they did with the Terre de Hermes line. This is Hermes H24. The Eau de Toilette. I love, love, love this fragrance. Wife loves this fragrance. My buddy Justin loves this fragrance, and he has both. He has this and the Eau de Parfum. He's actually how I was able to try the Eau de Parfum, which I will get. But in some ways, it depends on the season and the situation, really, as to which one I believe is superior between this and the Eau de Parfum, because the Eau de Parfum is better for the cooler months, but spring and summer, the freshness is kind of unmatched here. Even though they don't list any green citruses, it smells like kind of like the rind of a bergamot. It's this zesty, green citrus peel type of smell. A little floral, very metallic. If there's such a thing as a high quality synthetic smelling fragrance, that's how this comes across to me. This is just lovely stuff. Great atomizer too, as you could see. This is a beautiful fragrance. I can't wait to see where they go with this line, because the original DNA that they created here, I think they started with a banger. Really built upon it with the Eau de Parfum. That's a banger too. Like, this is really good, guys. This is like really good. I'm immensely impressed by this fragrance. Every time I wear it, I actually paid retail for this at Sephora. I tried it with Justin a few years ago when it first came out, like 2 years ago. And then it's funny, like a week after I bought it at retail for a 50 ml, I could have paid the same amount for a 100 ml tester from Kingdom Fragrances. I still don't regret it though, because in the moment I wanted it. I'm glad to have it, and it was nice to bring it back out and put it in the rotation, because it is a beautiful fragrance. Underrated compliment getter too. Just gorgeous stuff. During the day, and I did give myself 2 more sprays out the shower, Hermes H24 Eau de Toilette. Moving into Thursday, I actually gave myself a break this evening. I did not spray anything out the shower, but during the day, I'm so impressed by this. If you like blue fragrances and you want a niche blue that's actually quite affordable when you compare it to designer blue fragrance price points, this is from Eau de Moe. This is Tariq. So this 80 ml is $120. You're going to pay at least that at retail for most blue fragrances, especially like new releases and stuff. Like even YSL Y EDP Intense, which I think this is better than. That's more than this. Even at discounters right now, because you can get it from Joma Shop for like $5 less than this. And this is much, much higher quality. This is good stuff. So those of you not familiar with the line, this is Moe. that is also an owner of Kajal Perfume. So same quality, more affordable line. The glass works beautiful too. I actually love the glass bottles he went with here. Just such a high quality looking glass. Nothing cheap about this stuff. Minus this cap. I hate the cap. I don't like the cap on these bottles. That's my only complaint. Atomizer is great. Glass is great. Box presentation is phenomenal. It's a bookshelf style presentation. But the scent, smell it in the air. Quality lavender. I believe it to be the same lavender that can be found in my boxes right there. It's out of reach. In Kajal Ferris, that fresh cut lavender in a field type of smell. Not real soapy. Immensely aromatic. A little soft. A little touch of powder because there's also some tonka bean sweetness, if I remember correctly, in here because there's a little bit of sweetness. And the star of the show here is this fresh cardamom. It's a very fresh, bright, spicy type of cardamom. It never warms up in any way. Performance just blew me away. I had no idea it was going to be as strong as it is. This is a straight-up beast. It really is for a blue. This is a beast. It's not overwhelmingly strong for being a beast. Like, it doesn't wear my nose out because it's not full of synthetics. Synthetic ambergris or amber wood and Broxton. It's not full of stuff like that. So my nose doesn't really wear out. It's pretty natural smelling for the most part. I'm super impressed by this one. This is probably going to just stay on the rotation table all the way till next winter because I never know when I'm going to get in the mood for this because I really like this. This is 100% one of my favorite discoveries of the year so far. You should definitely get a sample. I'll have a link down below. You can get 2 ml samples and try this if you're looking for a new niche blue. Eau de Moe Tariq is going to be the one. Moving into Friday, I have not reached for this one in a little while. And I was debating, should I grab the EDP or just go with the Parfum? Because the Parfum's the newest one in my collection. So I decided why not. I went with Eros Parfum from Versace. I mean, I've spent plenty of time with the Eau de Parfum over the last couple of years. This is still pretty new to the collection, even though I've worn it, a little more than a handful of times now. I haven't had it for a real long time. I've had it a few months. It does get better and better as you wear it, though, I have to say. Though I do find the superior version to be the Eau de Parfum. It's the best of both worlds between the Eau de Toilette and the Parfum. Typically with designer fragrances, the Parfum Flanker always ends up being my favorite, but it's actually my second favorite in this situation. But it is beautiful. You still get that vanilla apple smell. That light ambroxan's still here, but there's more amber and woods here. I believe it's actually an amber wood note, if I remember correctly. And it's very rich. It's a very rich smell. Staying power's there, but it's not as loud as the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette. It definitely wears a little bit close to the skin, but not like a Bleu de Chanel Parfum or a Polo Blue Parfum where they wear pretty close to the skin, or a Ralph's Club Parfum. Those wear pretty close to the skin after about an hour. Here, this stuff still pumps pretty good. Has a decent projection in the first hour and a half, 2 hours, and a pretty strong sillage following. It's pretty consistent overall. Performance, I think, is the sweet spot for somebody that maybe was wearing Eros in their younger days. Maybe now you're past the 30-year-old mark, you have a professional life, but you still like the scent profile and you want maybe a smoother, not quite as loud version. This is the one. Actually, in the thumbnail for my review, I put Big Boy Eros question mark because this is the Big Boy Eros. If you just love the scent profile and you want about as refined as it's going to get for Eros, this is the one. And I didn't wear anything out the shower either. But during the day, I was loving this. This is some good stuff. Still not as good as the Eau de Parfum, though. It's Versace Eros Parfum. Finally, on Saturday, it was nice to get back to this one. I wore 4 sprays. It's very strong off of my skin. It's a little medicinal, herbal, fresh, and green. Woodsy, and has a little hint of that sweet aquatic DNA still in there. It is Paco Rabanne's Invictus Platinum. Been a little while since I wore this one. It's been I put it on the rotation table weeks and weeks ago. I've been meaning to get around to wearing it, and it was nice to pull this one out and get some sprays. Look, the first time I smelled this, I was a little indifferent about it. I was like, that's strange. It had to grow on me. Some fragrances just have to grow on you. This one grew on me. I paid retail for this one from Macy's. Don't regret it. Absolutely love it. I think this is a great addition to the collection. I do like this better than Victory. Much more, actually. Victory Elixir, I do like better than Victory. Victory's kind of my least favorite. And it's not a bad fragrance by any means. I know a ton of people love it. I'm not knocking it. It's just, when it comes to a fragrance line, you got to have a least favorite and you got to have a most favorite, right? I rank this above it. This is a beautiful fragrance. If you give this one a little bit of time, give it a few wearings, or even just that first wearing. You spray it and you kind of just go through your day and just kind of, like I like to say, live in the sillage. Just be a part of your day. I think you'll find a pretty good appreciation for this one. Doesn't smell too chemically synthetic and cheap, but it does have that designer smell. Doesn't smell supernatural or anything, but compliment getting type of DNA, especially if you like more herbal takes on, I guess, blue fragrances, because at its core, it's a blue fragrance. It's Invictus DNA, but this is more of an herbal, slightly medicinal and woodsy take on that scent profile. This is just beautiful stuff, and like I said, it's a great performer too, as are most in the line. It's Paco Rabanne's Invictus Platinum. And then when I got the shower, it was time for a good shave. I let it go a little bit longer than I typically do, but when I got out the shower, I busted out the Business Over Pleasure shave set. This is the aftershave splash, and of course, gave myself some sprays of the fragrance. For those of you not familiar, you can see my logo all over this stuff. This was my first creation with Zaharoff for the first Zed Creators project. No longer available except for ridiculous resale prices that people are selling $200-300 a bottle for. I mean, that's up to you if you want to pay that. I wouldn't want to pay that because we sold them for $115. You know, that's just people trying to make a buck. Oh, so good. My favorite Iris fragrance ever. Maybe some won't agree with me. That's okay. I created a fragrance I knew I would love. A great business professional's scent in a warmer climate. Because when this was created, I was working in Houston, Texas, wearing a suit and tie most days. Selling luxury vehicles. This is that jam. I took inspiration from fragrances like Eau, for example. That fresh, slightly, that one's much more powdery and lipsticky. That's a designer iris. This is natural Florentine iris, but there's much more complexity here. But that was kind of the path, kind of Pradalome low meets Dior Eau. Like that's the style I wanted to go with. It doesn't smell just like those, but that was the inspiration I took from them. That's why it's centered around ginger, Sichuan pepper, and coriander, those bright, fresh spices, to go with this beautiful, soft and powdery, creamy ginger, Florentine iris combo, creamy Palo Santo. There's a smoky Gaiac wood. I love this stuff. I'm sitting here talking about it like it's something you can just go grab. I wouldn't want to pay resale for this, guys, on eBay and stuff like that. But I mean, teach their own. But yeah, it's nice to go back to it. I love this stuff. Obviously, it is from... This mind is where it came from through Claude Deer's talents. Just love it. Out the shower, I had a good shave with Business Over Pleasure. Well, that was this week's rotation, and until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What'd you guys wear this week? I love to read those comments. I know this is coming out a day after it normally would have. Normally, the day I'm recording it, it would come out. But I had a little rack store video that I wanted to put out today. Because like I said, recording this, it's Sunday. It's WrestleMania Sunday. Main event tonight. That's why I'm rocking my American Nightmare shirt. It's actually like 68 degrees outside, so I'm not rocking my American Nightmare hoodie. Just going to rock the t-shirt. But rooting for Cody Rhodes. Going to be interesting to see all the drama for all you wrestling fans out there. For those of you that don't care, sorry you had to listen to this portion. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these fragrances and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Because it was a great week. Have a good one, guys.